everybody, welcome back to Don't Worry, Be Happy. We're approaching the end of this series. I think today is day 27, and I want to share with you today just a little bit of wisdom from our old pastor that Cheryl and I knew before we even came to Cambridge. And the verse that I'm looking at today, well, it's two verses, is Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 and 6. And if I can just read those to you, and I'm reading from the Amplified. Lean on, trust in, and be confident in the Lord with all your heart and mind, and do not rely on your own insight or understanding. In all your ways, know, recognize, and acknowledge him, and he will direct and make straight and plain your paths. Now, as I said, our old pastor in Preston, he used to quote those verses a lot. And but in quoting them, he'd usually lead it off with a question. And he had this lovely Scottish accent, and I won't even attempt to replicate that. But what he would say is, he'd come up to me and he'd just read that verse, and then he'd say, "Mark, who are you trusting?" So I want to encourage you today to challenge yourself with that question, like, who are you trusting? Where are you putting your trust? By that I mean, where do you lean? Who you're placing your confidence in? And the question really is it yourself or is it God? And just take a little time to think about that. How do you, for instance, respond to the unexpected? How do you deal with pressure? How do you face up to problems? Where do you put the weight when you're dealing with all sorts of issues in your life? Is it yourself? Is it God? Is it others? Is it doctors? Is it the state? And so on. So it's a real question, because where you put your trust in times of pressure, I refer to and think of as your functional God. How can I explain that? It kind of means this, that it's possible for somebody to say that they follow God and believe in God, but when they examine where they really put their trust and really put the weight of their lives, it turns out that their God, the one they're putting their trust in, is really themselves or doctors or the state or other people or friends and so on. So they have this functional God. Now, in these verses, God asks us to put our trust in him, to lean on him, to have confidence in him. And he wants us to do that. He wants us to do that because that's how we can not worry and be happy. And the reason is this. The fact is that God knows best. I mean, I know that's a really simple thing to say, but God knows best. But it's so easy to forget that, isn't it? You know, he made the universe. He knows everything. He sees everything. He understands everything. He's got the power to do whatever he wants. The ability to handle any problem, and he's everywhere. And that means that he's first-hand and fully involved in the experience of what you are facing right now in your life, and he knows how to handle it. So when you're struggling, when you face the unexpected, when problems seem overwhelming, I want to encourage you to put your trust in God, because he knows best. And you don't. He's able and you aren't. He understands the big picture and we struggle to see it. Lean into, put your weight on him, and he will gladly carry it, and he'll move that weight away. So remember, God knows best. Put your trust in him. Let me pray for you. Father, I just thank you that I can put my trust in you, and that you're not limited like me, but limitless, and that you're able to know what is best and the path that I should take. Amen.